Many embroiderers just starting out in the custom apparel industry are unfamiliar with digitizing. Rather than learning how to digitize themselves, many new embroiderers actually choose to outsource this critical task to a third party that specializes in digitizing. While this can certainly be a short-term fix for an immediate problem, it doesn't really bode well for you in the long run because you're at the mercy of someone else's schedule. That's why in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why every embroiderer should consider doing their own digitizing. I'll be talking about the financial and efficiency benefits that doing your own digitizing is able to offer. I'll also be talking about how doing your own digitizing can open up new revenue streams for your business and potentially grow your customer base. All right, all that and more coming up. Alright you guys, before we jump into today's topic, if you're new to this channel, my name is Henry Ma, I'm the CEO of Ricoma, and I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs and small businesses start and grow in the custom apparel industry. Whether you're interested to learn more about embroidery, digital printing, heat transfer, and more, this is the premier channel on YouTube to do exactly that. So if you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel by hitting that subscribe button so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they're released. And if you found this content helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up so that it can be pushed out to more people who might find it helpful. Now, before we jump into the first reason why you should consider doing digitizing in-house, I just want to preface this by saying that if you're a new embroiderer, my recommendation is still to outsource digitizing in the beginning. This is especially true if you're new to embroidery and you have a learning curve to climb with learning how to do embroidery. And so with the fact that your time is limited with your newfound business and you having to generate orders for that business and learning how to do embroidery from scratch, I would therefore recommend outsourcing digitizing to someone else first and worrying about that later. With that being said, if you're already in the embroidery game and you have a steady flow of orders, these 3 following reasons are some things to consider to do digitizing in-house on your own. With that being said, reason number 1 to consider doing digitizing on your own is that you keep more of the revenue in-house. Usually on average, embroiderers will have to pay between $10 to $30 for an average design when they outsource their digitizing. While that might not seem like a lot on the surface, those fees will quickly add up over time if you're doing a lot of different orders for a variety of customers. On top of that, for more specialized designs and more complex designs, outsourced digitizers can sometimes charge upwards of $50, $60, or even $70 for a more complex logo, such as ones with 3D puff or applique designs. So it should go without saying that learning how to digitize on your own, while there might be a learning curve in the beginning, over the long run, you're able to save those outsourced fees from paying to someone else, but keep that as revenue for yourself. On top of that, depending on your quality of design and your turnaround time, some embroidery companies can actually charge upwards of $60 to $70 just for a simple left chest logo based on text. This is because it's essentially looked at as a value-add service for your clients when doing embroidery, and they're more than willing to pay that premium if they can get their custom design digitized by you. I've actually heard this from numerous customers straight from the source saying that they can charge $50 to $60 for a simple left chest logo that literally takes them 5 to 10 minutes to do. Now again, I'm not saying you can do that across the board for every customer, but if you position your services accordingly, you can easily charge a premium for those type of services. By doing digitizing on your own, you also open up additional revenue streams for your business that you would not otherwise have. So instead of just saving on the cost of outsourcing, you're also opening up additional revenue streams by providing these design and digitizing services for your customers. By having more control of your costs on the digitizing because you're doing it yourself, you can also play around with how you want to charge those fees to your customers. Instead of charging a separate digitizing fee, for example, because some customers might balk at that, you can also play around by waiving or discounting that fee for a bulk order. You can have more flexibility to play around with those fees because you control the actual cost and your time versus having to pay someone else to do it. As an example, I've recommended to a lot of embroiderers to think about structuring their digitizing fees based on the volume of what their customers order. If you're charging $50 or $60 to set up a logo and digitizing it for your customer, imagine if you're able to waive that fee or discount it heavily if the customer orders in bulk. If they order 25 pieces, 50 pieces and up, you can consider waiving that $50, $60 as a courtesy, and that will feel like a discount and a good deal to the customer, and at the same time, it incentivizes them to order more from you. You can only have this flexibility that I just talked about when you can control the process and the cost versus having no control over what what someone else will charge you for that service. By the way, I've actually talked more in depth about how to handle digitizing fees as part of a past segment of Ask Henry. So if you're interested to check that out, I'll be sure to put a link in the card above and down in the description below. All right, moving on to reason number 2 for considering doing digitizing in-house is so you can have better turnaround times and have better control over the entire process. As you all know, part of being a successful embroiderer is the ability to deliver a quality product within a reasonable time frame. Anything that can speed up your turnaround time will give you a competitive advantage over the competition. When you outsource your digitizing to a third-party digitizer, you are putting yourself at the mercy and risk of someone else's schedule. If the digitizer you're outsourcing to has a backlog of work, or they're sick or out of touch for some reason, you might be waiting days or even weeks to get your digitized design back. That can definitely cause a delay for your delivery of the finished goods to your customers. And for your customers, the end user, they don't know any better. They're not going to know that the digitizer that you're outsourcing to is the cause of the delay. They're only liaising with you, and so they're going to put the blame on you. And even if the third-party digitizer comes back with your design in a reasonable time, if there are edits, that can prolong the process even further. You might be doing a test sample of the design you just received and it's not coming out as clean or as intended, and you have to send it back with specific edits to that design. That back and forth can definitely take a lot of time, especially if you're outsourcing to someone overseas to do your digitizing because of the time difference. Sometimes even 2-3 rounds of editing still can't get the design perfect, and that can definitely cause a delay in your delivery of the finished goods. By learning how to do digitizing in-house and on your own, you not only have more control over the entire process, but you can also make simple edits to the design because you know what to look for, so you really save that turnaround time and the back and forth with the outsourced digitizer. All right, reason number 3 to consider doing digitizing in-house is that it makes you a better overall embroiderer. Whether you like it or not, digitizing is a huge part of the embroidery process and can make or break your embroidery. After all, your embroidery machine is simply a tool that is being utilized to execute a sequence of commands to embroider out a digitized design. As they say, garbage in, garbage out, so if you don't have a correct and well digitized design going into your machine, the output and the quality of your embroidery is not going to be up to par. Embroiderers that have a solid grasp on digitizing are naturally better embroiderers because they know what to look for in terms of push-pull compensation, in terms of tensions, in terms of the density of the design, and all the other things that might affect the quality of the embroidery that all start with digitizing. By learning digitizing, you'll be able to know the differences and nuances of digitizing a design for caps versus flats, for example, and the different variables that go into making a quality embroidered product. And because of that knowledge that you now have, you can spot deficiencies in digitized designs on your own and be able to turn around that design quickly by making simple edits and therefore speeding up your turnaround time. Let me know down in the comments below whether you think learning digitizing will definitely help you become a better embroiderer. From speaking with thousands of decorators, many of them have said that learning digitizing and knowing the nuances of how it works have made them become better versed in the embroidery process. All right, you guys, that's all the time that we had for today. If you're considering taking your digitizing game to the next level, I would really consider checking out our free trial of our Ricoma digitizing software. I put that down in the links below and in the card above here. In that link, you can download a free copy of Ricoma and try out the software for yourself, play around with the interface, learn the different functions, and see how you like it. Also, if you have questions about the software, make sure to comment down below. I'll make sure to get back to you. Also, if you found this information helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so it lets us know that this information is helpful to you and we can produce more content just like this. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you keep up to date as soon as new videos are released. If you want to keep up to date with all the trends happening in the world of decorated apparel, make sure to follow us on our social channels down below. We're active on Instagram and on TikTok for some entertaining content. Last but not least, join our free Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery. I put that down in the links below. We now have over 33,000 apparel decorators in there sharing their knowledge, their experience, and their tips of the industry, and you can be a part of the conversation. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.